when the chimes ring out, then it's Christmas morn. Fill your hearts with the Christmas cheer.
Yeah.
We just like to make mention that we are maintaining social distancing, and it's important to follow all protocols because we are doing so right now. So hi everyone, welcome. Thank you for all viewers that are watching at home, on the street, wherever you are. Welcome to the 16 days of Activism launch, and we'll go right into our national anthem. That will be an instrumental, so please rise, stand at attention, and sing along if you want.
Okay.
Formal introduction of myself. I am Renata Samuels. I am the Communications Officer at the Department of Youth Services and the National Youth Advocate for UNICEF. And I have my amazing host over here.
My name is Chris Miller, the Youth Coordinated Officer at the Department of Youth Service, also the Male Curriculum Youth Ambassador for Belize.
Exactly. And so, Chris, what is today?
All right. Today also marks the International Day for Eliminating Violence Against Women, which kicks off these 16 days of activism against gender-based violence internationally. An end of International Human Rights Day on the 10th of December. This annual campaign is calling for the elimination of violence against women and girls. This year, the awareness that this campaign brings is more urgent than ever, as there has been an alarming rise of violence against women, especially domestic violence, during the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent lockdowns.
And today, as we launch our National 16 Days of Activism campaign along with the National Women's Commission, the Women and Family Support Department, and the Spotlight Initiative, we reflect on the importance of our national team. Hashtag Orange Belize. Respond, prevent, collect, and empower. The theme highlights the importance of a collective response to prevent gender-based violence, the significance of collecting data, and the empowerment of all stakeholders through capacity building and education.
The COVID-19 pandemic has caused worldwide numbers of all forms of violence, particularly domestic violence, to rise. The 16 days of activism allow us to stand against the pervasive human rights violation, raise awareness, and advocate for gender equality.
The National Women's Commission chairs the 16 Days of Activism Planning Committee comprised of Women and Family Support Department and a civil society organization throughout Belize who put forward a calendar of events to bring awareness and create advocacy. Additionally, the Spotlight Initiative, a partnership between the European Union and the United Nations, was launched on August this year and works with governments, civil society organizations, the media, and other partners to eliminate all forms of violence against women and girls by 2030.
These organizations work tirelessly year-round to help families, especially women and girls, who face multiple forms of inequality. But their work is especially amplified during these 16 days. As many of you know, the events that happen around this time usually bring many together with events and rallies as big as 20,000 strong. Even though we cannot come together now, you can still make an impact virtually.
Everyone can take action today by informing themselves, helping someone they know experience violence, helping someone they know that is experiencing violence, sharing important information, and empowering the women, and speaking up when you see wrong. We must especially let victims know that they are not alone. Social media has become such a powerful tool today, and we encourage all of you who are following the National Women's Commission and United Nations Belize page to access information and the calendar of ongoing events during these 16 days of activism. Post your commitments using hashtag OrangeBelize and get a chance to enter a giveaway when you tag both the National Women's Commission and United Nations Belize page. That's right, the National Women's Commission and United Nations Belize page. Tag them both.
During this live event, we have messages from the Minister of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs, the Right Honorable Dolores Baldaramas Garcia. Message from the National Women's Commission, messages from the members of United Nations Belize Country Team, which includes the Resident Coordinator's Office, UNDP, UNFPA, UNICEF, the European Union, as well as the CSO's partners, a survivor's message and empowerment, and a special performance by our cultural group.
You can be involved as we go along. Leave questions and comments under this live stream, and we'll be sure to highlight them during our social media check-in.
Now, are we ready?
Now that all the reading and all the nitty-gritty is over, yes, of course, I think they're ready. Let's launch the 16 days of activism. So we'll first start off having an opening remark by the Executive Director of the National Women's Commission, Ms. Cynthia Williams.
Yeah.
Good day, everyone. Today, Belize joins the world in launching its observance of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. While COVID pandemic has forced us to change the way we do things, it by no means makes it less significant. 16 days of activism amplifies efforts to end gender-based violence, especially against women and girls. It is observed annually from November 25th, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to December 10th, International Human Rights Day. At the core, it allows activists around the world to reaffirm their solidarity and commitment with those experiencing violence in their lives by doubling efforts around this time. This year, the theme, Orange Belize, Respond, Prevent, Collect, and Empower, is a challenge for duty bearers entrusted with the responsibility to respond with at least the most essential services required for protection and support of persons who need it the most. It calls for bolder and stronger and more inclusive behavior change campaigns, targeting negative social norms, a shift to more positive masculinities, and messages to discontinue perpetuating violence against women and girls. Although we struggle with data collection, it is an opportunity to strengthen systems and entities that collect and analyze data, but also to demand for more structured sharing mechanisms that will enhance evidence-based policies and programs. Data such as 19 women murdered in 2018 and 17 murdered in 2019 must go beyond just being numbers. It should be a reminder of what Belize have lost for losing their lives. And finally, Empower seeks to support persons facing violence to slowly take control of their lives and claim their rights, but they need our support. The fundamental message of ongoing educational sensitization and awareness activities should be that gender inequality is a key driver of family violence, especially against women and girls. So, as we begin observing these 16 days of activism, we'd like to challenge you to begin reflecting on the ways that you can act against gender-based violence, whether it is by listening to and believing survivors, calling for responses and services for those who cannot do it themselves, or learning the science of abuse to know how to help. It is important that you start conversations that seek to uphold people's human dignity rather than bring them down because you do not agree with their life choices. Men, you must stand against the culture of violence and uphold each other accountable. If everyone does their part, we can change Belize. So let's respond, prevent, collect, and empower. Thank you.
Okay, what a nice way to start off the event.
I know, so powerful, just inspiring that we should orange Belize. But let's keep it going, Chris. What's next?
Now we have the keynote address by the Minister of the Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs, the Right Honorable Dolores Balderramos Garcia.
Greetings, everyone. 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence has for many years served as a platform for national governments and civil society organizations around the world to band together in one voice, calling out the scourge of gender-based violence and the negative impacts it has on a country. It also serves to re-energize and galvanize national efforts as we continue to combat gender-based violence, which disproportionately affects women and girls. Cases continue to occur in both private and public spaces. Gender-based violence too often is accepted as a normal behavior, and the culture of discrimination continues to occur without being called what it is, a crime. The need to highlight this issue as a violation of the human rights of those experiencing it must never cease. While we recognize that this is a global problem, we need to take action and create public awareness about what needs to change to prevent it from happening at the local level, and even more importantly, at the most basic unit of society, the family, within our ministry. Thus, the theme this year, Orange Belize, Respond, Prevent, Collect, and Empower, seeks to shine the spotlight on the multiple levels at which work needs to happen. From duty bearers such as our own ministry, the police, the health ministry, even the judiciary, we all must conscientiously and systematically continue to respond in an effective and efficient manner. If we do not, lives will be lost, as we have seen in the past years. We must continue to implement prevention programs that break down attitudes and values which perpetuate, rationalize, and normalize that violence, and deny the right to safety for women and girls and other vulnerable populations. Through the national coordinating entity, the Women's Commission, our ministry continues to strengthen collaborative efforts which bring together government, civil society, and the private sector. While the pandemic of violence against women is not new, COVID-19 has exacerbated the violence in many homes, where we have seen a rise in cases, making collaborative partnership even more important. It is in this spirit that government continues to work hand in hand with its partners and has launched multiple efforts to document cases where service provision is denied or given inadequately. A second hotline to enhance support to persons coming forward to make reports is now available to provide free access to smart customers. And additional safe spaces in districts have been activated through UNFPA and the Engender project. In addition, a multi-language public awareness campaign on radio and television has been facilitated through UNFPA and the Spotlight project to design key messages, not only in English, but also Spanish, Garifuna, Mopan, Kekchi, and Yucatec Maya. These will be distributed in all districts, especially rural areas, with support from the district gender-based violence committees and the community policing unit. And so, as we begin this year's observance of the 16 days of activism, while we affirm government efforts in combating gender-based violence as this scourge, we also remind everyone that government cannot do it alone. Every single Belizean must also play a role. Let me ask us all, please, let us reduce and stamp out gender-based violence. I thank you.
It's so true, Chris, that we need to think about what our response will be. And I hope later on that we think about the commitments that we want to give, especially during these 16 days of activism. So I hope they ponder on it throughout this. And let's continue going, right? We have also a message by the EU, Frederick Eckfeldt. I just want to make sure I say his name correct. It's a fancy name, Frederick Eckfeldt. And he's a deputy head of delegation of Jamaica, Belize, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Island, and the Cayman Island. Long name. So here's the message.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good day. I'm honored to represent the European Union on this occasion to bring you a message of hope and reiterate our pledge to continue our support to end violence against women and girls. We have heard these shocking statistics often, but it bears repeating. Around the world, 1 in 3 women have experienced violence in their lifetime. It happens in all spheres of their lives, including in their home and other spaces where they should reasonably expect to feel safe and protected. In Belize, 1 in 5 women experience physical or sexual violence at the hands of an intimate partner in 2019. In 2018, 75% of all cases of sexual violence were among girls 10 to 19 years. 65% of children, boys and girls, experience some form of physical violence from parents or a guardian. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, emerging data indicate that all types of violence against women and girls, particularly domestic violence, has intensified. With this knowledge, it is clear that we all must do more to end violence against women. We must challenge the social norms and negative stereotypes that promote this human rights violation and prevent women from enjoying a life of dignity. Within the context of the current pandemic, while we are encouraging precautionary measures to protect ourselves and stop the spread of the virus, we must also seek to address violence against women, including in COVID-19 response and recovery effort. The European Union is at the forefront of combating gender-based violence in Europe and around the world. We put up an unprecedented financial investment of 500 million euros to promote, together with the United Nations, like-minded partner countries and civil society, a global partnership called the Spotlight Initiative. 50 million euros of this amount has been allocated to address family violence across the Caribbean. Belize is among the beneficiary countries where efforts are being made to help women and girls step out of the shadows of their abusers into the light. We cannot let them down by turning a blind eye. It is time for us all, particularly men and boys, who have been standing quietly on the sidelines, to find our voice, to speak out and take action to end the violence once and for all. Spotlight Initiative demonstrates just how serious the European Union is about our partnership with the region and protecting the rights of the people in the Caribbean. Let this observance of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women and the 16 days of activism be your demonstration of commitment to speak out against injustice. And together, let's orange Belize. Let us orange the world.
Alright, Renata, before this video, did you know internationally 1 in 3 women suffer violence in home?
No, I honestly did not. And I think this is perfect that the representative mentioned that the fact that we're able to know these statistics, it makes us take it a little bit more serious and understand the severity of why we need to be active in facing these issues and like tackling them for ourselves.
So we'll go right on to the End Violence Now video.
Oh, perfect.
Three out of 4 children experience violence from caregivers before the age of 4. 1 out of 4 adults believe it is necessary.
75% of sexual violence cases in Belize are against girls between 10 to 19 years old.
65% of children, boys and girls, experience some form of physical violence from a parent or a guardian.
In 2018, Belize had over 2,000 reported domestic violence cases.
1 in 20 women in Belize
believe that man is justified to beat his wife.
1 in 10 females, 15 to 19 years, have had live births.
1 in 5 of our girls aged 15 are married or in a union.
Boys experience violence too. 17% of boys experience sexual violence.
1 in 5 women experience physical or sexual violence, by an intimate partner in the last 12 months.
End violence now.
That was a powerful video, short but to the point. I mean, we just were speaking about numbers, and to be able to have all those numbers, it hits you. Wow. And that's all I can actually say. I'm lost for words to know these numbers and how severe they are. So let's move right on to our Survivors Empowerment video by Anita Hamilton.
Hello, I am Anita Hamilton, proud mother of 5 and grandmother of 10. It is said that every wound has a scar, and every scar has a story, and my story says, I survived. I am a domestic violence survivor. As we prepare to celebrate 16 days of activism against gender-based violence under the theme #Orange, respond, prevent, collect, and empower, I would like to encourage all who are currently under suppression, whether male or female, to break your silence. Why live uneasy? Pray hard for guidance. Get to know your self-worth. Respond accordingly and take action to get help for yourself and your children, if children are involved. Break the cycle and prevent further violence as they grow into society. Keep empowering yourself and never give up on yourself. I have been to the pinnacle of domestic violence, even contemplated suicide. But with God on my side, my actions came to light when I considered what will happen with my 4 children if they are suffering now and I am the person protecting them. Then what will become of them if I am to take my life? Today, I enjoy a life I never thought existed. I met Brent Hamilton 24 years ago. We have been married 15 years and we have 1 son. But he has brought new life and hope to me and accepts my 4 children as his own, so he considers himself also having 5 children. Love does exist. Just believe and find your self-worth. On a lighter note, and as a way of bringing awareness to domestic violence, my husband started a sit-ups video on Facebook. Record yourself doing 20 to 25 sit-ups for 25 days. The message is to sit up, get out if need be, to save yourself. Remember, you have the ultimate power to change your story.
Whoa, Renata, that was a very strong and passionate message from Miss Anita.
I know. I love messages like that because they're survivors and they can share their story and you feel inspired through that. And I'm hoping that viewers that listen to this, that are in a situation like she was, that are experiencing domestic violence in any form, that you listen to her words, that you understand your worth, that you try to find the strength within you and with others around you, support systems, and you fight. It's beautiful to see that we have people that have survived and that can talk about their journey. And I just want to make mention too, real quickly, as we talk about comments and viewers, please remember to continue throughout the 16 days of activism. Use the #OrangeBelieves. Share your stories if you have. Empower others around you. Your story can inspire others.
Okay, and now we have the UN Resident Coordinator's message. The Resident Coordinator to Belize and El Salvador, Birgit Gertensberg.
Dear all, it is a pleasure to join today's celebration of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women that launches the next 16 days of activism to reiterate our message that any kind of violence against women and girls must be considered by everybody as unacceptable under the standards of our societies. As already highlighted in the Spotlight Initiative launch in August this year, the United Nations are committed to supporting Belize's efforts to eliminate family and gender-based violence, as well as to do everything to advance gender equality especially at this moment in time, when the pandemic forces us to make concessions to our lives and family in our communities with friends and colleagues. Did you know that violence against women and girls is one of the most prevalent human rights abuses around the world? In Belize, domestic violence is the greatest manifestation of inequality as it affects women in all parts of the country, in all spheres of the society. Young girls in Belize are most vulnerable to sexual violence, as 75% of those cases in 2018 were against girls 10 to 19 years old. Furthermore, femicides in Belize have steadily increased. These are unambiguous figures that show that there is a task to defend women's and girls' human rights in Belize. The pandemic has intensified the high levels of inequality that already existed, but moreover, we run the risk of reversing decades of progress achieved in the matter, worldwide as well as in Belize. Putting violence in the context of inequality, it comes with other key risk factors, such as vulnerability to poverty, and underemployment, limitations to school attendance of girls, and confined living conditions. While these present challenges are worrying, there's also immense potential for a way forward in Belize and elsewhere. This year's national theme for this day is Orange Belize: Respond, Prevent, Collect and Empower. It serves to remind us of the potential we can create when working collectively to raise awareness and implement strategies which ensure that we reach our target of eliminating all forms of violence against women and girls. What can be some actions we should envisage? First, national funding must be prioritized to safeguard that essential services include gender-based violence response and prevention. Second, prevention is optimal if we can declare a national zero-tolerance policy for gender-based violence and confirm that essential services are maintained even where there are in-country restrictions and challenges. Third, data collection is key to improving our services and programs, which must be an area of priority for Belize. Fourth, the empowerment of all stakeholders through effective capacity building and educational awareness on gender equality at all stages of learning, of professional training, tertiary education, and professional codes of conduct, that is a must. Many of these approaches are already being targeted, and the Spotlight initiative that we lead here in Belize and in numerous countries in the world reinforces and contributes to implement them. The initiative is a strong collaboration among UN agencies, the government, civil society, with the important support of the European Union. And it aims at eliminating violence against women and girls through specific pillars that will address legislative and policy gaps, strengthen institutions, promote gender equitable attitudes, and provide quality services for survivors and reparations for victims of violence and their families. Furthermore, interventions will also strengthen systems for collecting data on violence against women and empower civil society organizations. But nevertheless, the task to eliminate violence against women and girls does not only lie with the ongoing national collaboration. You can make a difference today in your family, in your relationship, in your school or your university, in your community, and at your workplace. Share Orange Belize during these 16 days of activism. I invite everyone in Belize to be advocates, especially young men and boys. I encourage you to take an active role during this year's 16 days of activism and beyond. We need everyone, everywhere, to help to eliminate violence against women and girls. Most importantly, I hope that anyone listening to this message who may be facing violence is encouraged to seek help and trust that you matter to us and that dealing with violence you face makes you strong, and states an example for others to do the same. In closing, I use these words of the UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, reminding us that despite our challenges, together we can and must prevent violence everywhere. We hope you are taking good care and keeping safe in this time, which not only challenges us, but also provides us with new ways to look after each other and stay together for our causes. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. We hope that you guys are enjoying these messages.
I do. They just have a sentimental feeling, the call to action. I feel like I'm being empowered and motivated to do more in my community. And remember that you can start by amplifying your voice today and empowering others by posting your commitments towards eliminating violence against women and girls using hashtag #OrangeBelize and tagging both the National Women's Commission and the United Nations Belize Facebook page. Doing so, like I said before, will enter you in a chance to win the tote bag with, you know what, I'm just gonna show you guys because I have an example here. We have here a cap in the tote bag, nice cap, a t-shirt.
Like the one that we have
like the one that we wear, but there's different colors. This is the red one, there's gray, and other colors that they have. A water bottle. Just want to advertise properly so we know this is some good stuff we're getting here. We have another bag within the bag. So cute. You know, if you're students, yeah, you know, these are so cute and nice. Oh, if you have a phone, which I believe you will, and pop up. We love that, and it has Spotlight Initiative right there. So cute. And of course, so you can write down your commitments, a book and a pencil. So guys, make sure you write about your commitments.
Remember to use the hashtag #OrangeBelize and tag both pages on your post, and you will be able to win a tote bag. They are 16, so there are going to be 16 lucky winners.
And we'll have a representative that's going to reach out to you on Facebook and contact you and say you have won a tote bag, and then we're going to work out all the kinks of how you can pick it up and so forth. But come on guys, comment, let us know what your commitments are. And Chris, what is your commitment?
I think my commitment this year will be stopping the catcallings, stopping my friends from doing the catcallings, try to be more respectful. We think it's okay to hey babes or that thing when the girls are walking by, but it's been quite knowledgeable knowing that some girls or most females don't like the catcalling. They find it real annoying. So that's a step I will take this year. How about you?
No, before I even say mine, I just want to say how important that is to be told by a boy, a man, that he's going to stop that. That's a really serious commitment, because I'm a woman and I know I really do not like the catcalling, and I think I can speak for a lot of women that we don't see it as respectful in any kind of way. We don't find it cute. It's not a joke. It's not something that we like. So for you to commit to do that, I really wish that you can encourage and be an example to your friends to stop. I know for me, my commitment is to make sure for these 16 days and thereafter, the minute I see anything with domestic violence, anything against women, anything that's disrespecting a woman, I will speak up about it on social media. I will comment, and I will let someone know that that is not right. I will hold people accountable, you know, because that's what we're supposed to do. We can't just be letting things slide and being bystanders. We can't just look at the organizations and all these institutions and ask them to do the work for us. It starts from us, our mentalities and our actions changing. So I know that's going to be my commitment, because it really starts from us.
Yeah, definitely.
And like when we bring up about that, Chris, if we're going to talk about a little hot topic that just happened, I mean, a very hot topic that just happened recently with a bunch of girls, their pictures were taken off of their Instagram or Facebook pages and posted on a Pornhub site. That was very disrespectful, and that was downright unacceptable. And I remember this, it comes at the worst, I would say best time, but it's still worst thing to happen. And it shows how far we need to get, or how much we have to do to remind boys, because they're not men, boys to respect women in every single form and shape. I mean, this is your social media. These are your personal pages. You have no right to those pictures, and you need to show in those small things, like you could something as basic as that someone would say, that's violence against a woman. That is gender-based violence. I mean, I don't think any man would like if they did that to them. So why do it to another female? So.
And just to add, I mean, you see in some of the comments, I mean, a majority I would applaud by the people I have on my Instagram, I see shunning the action, you know, the fighting against it, the calling out. But there are still some people that would say that, oh, why they are posting these type of pictures. But that's beside the fact you don't have the right to take someone's picture without their acknowledgement or knowledge and post it on sites like that. These people are respectable people. I mean that's your page, that you have the right to post whatever you want to post. And I remember us talking earlier about the whole idea of thinking, what would you do if it was your grandmother, if your mother, your sister? And I feel like we actually have to even take out that whole instead of what would you do if you don't have to even compare it to that. It's just if you are a woman, a man is supposed to have respect for you and they could see as a human being. And I think that's the point that we need to remember, that it doesn't matter, they don't have to be a loved one, we just need to have respect. And that's what I love about 16 Days of Activism, because it brings to light these issues. It talks about survivors. You can see the messages that we need to stand in solidarity. We need to speak up. We need to stop being silent, and women need to feel free to be who they are and support other women and men. That's why I love the fact that you said you're going to stop the calls, because it's important to have men speak up and say, I will do this no longer, and I will stop my friends from doing this. Yep.
It all starts with us. And if anybody out there can listen and get a message from what I'm saying, is just you need to take the initiative on yourself as well. Do not expect it from other people. If you see something done wrong that you would not tolerate yourself or want for someone, speak about it. Stop being a bystander. Stop letting it slide, because it's just as bad as doing it. In my mind, it's just as bad if you don't speak up.
Definitely. So we'll continue on with the rest of the program. We'll slide right into the messages by the UN agencies.
Every day in many parts of the world, women and girls are exposed to abuse, exploitation, discrimination and inequality that denies them the opportunity to learn and contribute and participate in national development. These 16 days of activism, we at UNICEF joined the Spotlight Initiative and the government to call on everyone, men, women, policymakers and influencers across the social spectrum to make sure we can address gender-based violence at household, community and policy level to build a better, stronger and more inclusive society for the next generation.
The Spotlight Initiative in Belize is responding to all forms of violence against women and girls through preventive measures such as behavior change communication and comprehensive sexuality education. When we address the norms and practices that are rooted in gender inequality, and we empower young people to make informed choices about their bodies, we can stop violence against women and girls before it even starts.
I'm pleased to speak to you on behalf of the United Nations Development Programme in Belize. The 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence is an international campaign that takes place every year. It commences on 25th November, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, to 10th December, the Human Rights Day, indicating that violence against women is the most pervasive breach of human rights worldwide. The national theme is Orange Belize: Respond, Prevent, Collect and Empower. It highlights the importance of the multi-sectoral response to prevent gender-based violence, the collection of data, and empowerment of all stakeholders through ongoing capacity building and educational awareness. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic and associated measures to contain this disease have escalated violence against women and girls, and particularly domestic violence, around the world. The 16 Days of Activism therefore gives us an opportunity to take action, including through confronting norms and practices, advocating for gender equality, and empowerment of women and girls. Thank you.
This year, more than ever, during the 16 days of activism, we have to ensure that we continue to fund, respond, prevent, and collect the data necessary to end violence against women and girls. COVID-19 is a crisis and a hazard that we must address, and in doing so, we have to recognize how it exploits and exacerbates the inequalities in our communities that exist, such as violence against women and girls. We join together with you and the colleagues across the UN system to ensure that services such as the 500 masks that were provided to organizations that provide services to survivors of violence are continued, and that we keep survivors and their families in our hearts, minds, and our actions as we work together to build back better.
The coronavirus pandemic is much more than a health crisis. It is a human crisis that risks reversing decades of progress made in women's rights and equality. The crisis is taking an even higher toll on women and girls around the world who face an alarming surge in gender-based violence. We must address the inequality that the COVID-19 pandemic has made visible to all of us. Let us end violence and impunity to build a better world where women and their families can live a life free from insecurity and fear.
Gender-based violence and harassment is incompatible with decent work. It is a threat to equal opportunities and to safe, healthy, and productive working environments. The ILO therefore calls on all countries to adopt Convention 190, which recognizes that a gender-responsive approach is essential to ending violence and harassment in the world of work.
As people are asked to stay at home, reports of partner and domestic violence are on the rise. Women and children are at particular risk of violence in their homes. Preventing and responding to violence is an important component of the COVID-19 response, and health workers play a critical role. What can health workers do? Be aware of the increased risk of domestic violence in the context of COVID-19, recognize the signs and know when and how to ask about violence, provide timely care for physical, sexual, reproductive, and mental health, and provide first-line support to survivors. Share information about available support and establish referrals to other essential services.
Okay, it's good to see all of these agencies working together to stop violence against women and girls.
I know, we all need to work together. It's important that we have unity. And we keep mentioning that it doesn't stop with just one or two. It's all of us that need to come together. And I just want to make, I get so excited when I read these commitments. We have Desiree, our zoo right here, that committed and said, I will continue to commit to calling out anyone, whether man or woman, if I see or hear them disrespecting women or girls. Hashtag Orange Belize, hashtag end gender-based violence now. Thank you, Desiree. This is what we're talking about, because it takes all of us doing it, every single person standing up for each other, and I'm sure that sends a real message to anyone that hears, I'm not supposed to do that. We're going to hold you accountable. You need to do better. So we're thankful for that. And now we're going to have a call to action, messages by civil society organizations. And this is a really good video that I want you guys to really pay attention to, because we've talked about commitments, and these are different organizations that are actually talking about the commitments that they're pushing for. So listen in, maybe get some examples of what you want to do. It's okay if you don't know what you want to do on day one. We have 16 days to go and the rest of your life, because I hope this is not just a 16 days of activism thing. This is an everyday thing. So let's play the video.
We all have a role to play to end gender-based violence in Belize. So we are calling on all Belizeans to take an active role during these 16 days of activism. and hashtag Orange Belize.
During these 16 days of activism,
I hashtag Orange Belize by supporting women and girls, ensuring they know where to access help and services, and advocating for increased funding to ending violence against women.
I hashtag Orange Belize by educating myself and talking to family and friends about the negative impact of violence against women and girls on individuals and communities.
I hashtag Orange Belize by speaking up and not accepting violence against women and girls.
I hashtag Orange Belize by reporting cyber violence on social media, and I commit not to share it when I see it.
I hashtag Orange Belize by sharing empowering messages and information on my social media platforms that may be useful to persons experiencing violence.
I hashtag Orange Belize by supporting anyone I know experiencing violence, letting them know that I am here for them, that they are not alone, that I am here to listen, that I believe them, and most importantly, that it is not their fault.
I hashtag Orange Belize by empowering the women in my life, my wife, my mother, my sisters, my nieces, also my friends and colleagues, ensuring that I prioritize dialogue and respect.
I hashtag Orange Belize by ensuring that we work on ending all forms of family violence in Belize.
What will you commit to during these 16 days of activism?
Do your part to promote gender equality. Orange Belize with us.
Alright, we're almost to the end of our program. We've seen messages far and wide, and I think we can all say how much commitments we're all giving as a nation to end violence against women and girls, as well as addressing family violence.
But before we end, I just want to say how impactful and just true these messages have been, and the type of empowerment that we continue throughout the 16 days of activism. Let's look at some of the events that you all can be a part of. We're going to go through the calendar right now so you can see what you can be a part of.
Okay, we have the hashtag Orange Belize, picture submission wearing orange, Instagram and Facebook. So guys, you take your picture, hashtag Orange Belize, tag the different agencies, and yeah, that's one way you can be a part of the 16 days.
And I'm sure you all have an orange shirt or orange dress or something orange, and you take your picture and you be proud, hashtag Orange Belize. Then of course, we have the high school, for high school students. This is already passed actually, but we're gonna just talk about it because these are a lot of events that have been happening, and this is about the high school students where they can be able to submit a video, and we're actually gonna show that video a little later. Surprise, deal breaker surprise. So there's a video competition that was able to be shown.
We also have a gender-based violence art competition. It's on a virtual platform. It's from the November 15th to December 10th. Yeah, it's an open event, and you can contact Shania Petch at 6373228, I guess, to get more information about the event. It's an end violence art competition.
Yeah, domestic violence. You need to break this silence. So this is a really nice competition. I love this to be able, like we said, we heard from Ms. Hamilton how beautiful it is to know what these people have gone through and how they survived. So I'm looking forward to that. Really, I really am. And we also have an end gender-based violence art competition. You know, it's on a virtual platform again. You contact Shania Petch again as well, 637-3228. And again, all this information can be found on the Women's Department page and United Nations Belize page as well. So make sure you check it out, guys. We have a lot of artists in Belize. Come on, this is a great competition to enter in.
We have today, which is the virtual launch of the 16 Days of Activism, which is live here. If you are watching, then you already know. But yeah, we have today, which is the virtual launch of the 16 Days of Activism.
And then we also have a virtual launch of the 16 Days of Activism church service.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we have that too as well. You know, we keep it coming.
We also have, Yeah, so like the ongoing activities throughout the 16 days will be like the hashtag Orange Belize campaign. For the whole 16 days, that will be a competition that's run straight through.
Yeah. So they can, like I said, you can continue hashtag Orange Belize. You can even change your profile picture. I did today. I felt so excited to be able to look. You can go into the frames. I know you all know how to use Facebook very well. You go into your frames and you find United Nations Belize, and then it's gonna have a beautiful like orange hashtag Belize frame that you can upload, and you can even put a message with it if you want. You can put a theme if you want or whatever it is, but continue changing your profile picture. Show the solidarity. It's all about letting us see numbers, that you're in support, that you are with us here. And like, yeah, you know the signs, social media campaign. This is going to be online television. They're going to be print. It's an open event as well. That you, once you know the signs, you can be able to upload it. Like I said, all this is going to be on the United Nations Belize page. You can check out all these stuff, and there are contact personnel for every single one. So if you don't understand anything, you could just be messaging in and say, hey, I want to be a part of this competition. It's exciting. Can you explain it more to me? And they're going to contact you and let you know. And so we also have for Belize District.
We have the post information on UNCEDAW is a Youth Enhancement Service Facebook page. Yeah.
And just continue going. Like I said, there's every day there's something going on somewhere. You can always make sure you get active. On Friday, November 27th, we have the youth session on gender-based violence. It's a reality youth football show. This is the Belize Institute of Management, and so this is by invitation, so you can always try to see if you get involved, so forth. There's a youth and gender discussion too as well. That's virtual youth and gender discussion. This is by the Belize Family Association. You can contact Kyla Siego. I know that's a familiar name. It's an open event, guys. Like I said, it's Friday. If you're doing nothing on Friday, get involved, get active. It's for a worthy cause.
Okay, so even for Tuesday, November 24th, there's a post a staff picture. I am stronger now. Youth Enhancement Service, again on the Facebook. You post a picture with your staff, hashtag I am stronger, hashtag Orange Belize. It's a fun way for the work environment and work family to get in on the action.
And like I said, like Chris, we keep mentioning, so I don't think they can get it anymore, but I feel like I still need to say it. It's 16 days. You have a lot you can do. Even if these competitions have passed and the picture is already, the competition for that picture is done, you can still try to support and just show your solidarity and post your picture. Like, you're still going to get your good likes and you're still going to be able to advocate and everybody's going to see your beautiful face. So, like, why not do it? Right? And then, of course, we have World AIDS Day, December 1st. Yep. There's going to be a youth group, a gender-based violence session again. December 3rd, we have a virtual teaching goes orange, and this is a parents competition. This sounds so cool. This is what YWCA, virtual preschool Belize City. It's so, I love how we're always getting the family involved. We're getting teachers, we're getting everyone involved because, like I said, everybody's hand needs to be able to do, and we can do the big push like that.
Yeah, also two other events on that same day. We have the Media and Gender Communication Workshop. That's something I think you will be in.
I think I might just be in that, Chris, because it's media and I love that. We have a youth round table, so maybe that's what both of us might be in. And Port Loyola Library, yes. So there's that. On December 5th, we have the Activism meeting, Safety, Security, and Solidarity. And this is from our Circle online platform. I'm just loving that we have all these groups getting involved, BFLA, our Circle, like I said, Solidarity, where we're all coming together. We have a discussion with a domestic violence survivor. I love that. That's happening at the Leah Bradley Library in Belize City. We have adult round table. So we have the youth round table, and then we have the adult round table. So we take it to a next step here.
And this is all on December 10th.
December 10th. This is on December 10th. We have an open day with youths.
At the Doublehead Cottage, Belize River Valley. So you see, guys, it's all over. It's not just everything in the city. We have in the rural areas. And some of the stuff we are calling out is just for Belize City. They have events in the Coyote District.
We have the 16 Days of Activism display in Santa Elena Library. So Kaya is involved too. Again, this is not just for Belize. This is countrywide, everyone. We have HIV testing and gender-based violence awareness sessions. This again, Kaya District. This is Kaya District, yes.
We have stuff going on in Orange Walk District. You have the domestic violence interview by at the Sunday Hunter Library at Orange Walk Town. That's November 27th. On November 28th, there's the GBV session. So in Stan Creek, there's going to be sessions also going on. Renata, should we get into the winner for the high school competition?
We should, but just quickly before we get into it, I just want to remind that for all of these different, sorry, for all of these, I'm getting so excited, papers are flying everywhere. It just shows how much activism I'm about, right? So I just want to remind you guys, check out the pages, find out what you can get involved in. There are contact personnel on every single one of these events, so you can get in and get involved, okay? So you don't have to worry about it. And Chris, we have 2 surprises for them. So we have first, let them know, first we have the entertainment, and then we have a next surprise, right? So I feel I love this data. We're having so much surprises for you guys. So who do we have as a surprise for the entertainment, Chris?
Oh, we have the entertainment by the Ugandarige Cultural Group. I'm sorry if I pronounced the word wrong, guys. Please forgive me. But yes, we have now an entertainment piece by the Ugandarige Cultural Group.
I think you said it different first and second time.
Bugawadi watia wagerage. Bugawadi watia wabege hiruha hirume. Bugawadi watia wagerage. Bugawadi watia wabege hiruha hirume. Bugawadi watia wabege hiruha hirume. Bugawadi watia wagerage. Bugawadi watia wabege hiruha
Whoa, Renata, you have any of those moves?
No, and I just admire it, man. I really wish I could just, you know what, I'm not going to embarrass myself up here, but I give props to these women and these men because they're so talented to go out there and they do this all the time. I really respect this group. So our next surprise, or well, our next item actually is remember we talked about this, guys. When we were going through the calendar of events, we said that there was a video competition by high schoolers. And so guess what? We have that little sneak peek of who won. But first, we're just going to mention the top 3 people so you guys can know there are many schools that entered in. And the overall idea was for them to be creative and do an inspirational video on gender-based violence. And you know how our Belizean people, we show up. We are talented and we're so amazing. So for our third place prize, we had $200, and that sounds so good right now, especially in COVID times. So if you'd want to share, you can link me later. We have Amy Rodriguez from EPR High School.
Our second place winner is Tamar Wright from Nazarene High School, and that person won home $300.
$300. I feel like the number keeps going up, and I'm just like, are we friends? Can we be friends? And then, of course, our first place winner is Tira Sutherland from EPR High School, and that's $500.
Christmas gift.
Christmas gift, and you know you can find me at the Department of Youth Services. But congratulations to everybody that entered a video in. I mean, it takes a lot of talent to be able to come out and be creative like that, especially on a topic like gender-based violence. We just appreciate your efforts. And Tira, I appreciate, you know, if we want to be friends, we can be friends. I'm just saying, you know. And we're going to show the video, right, Chris?
Yeah, we're going to show the video.
So,
right
Tira Sutherland from EPR High School.
Good morning. My name is Tira Sutherland. I am 14 years old and I attend Edward Pierre High School. Today I will be presenting a poem on gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, it can happen to all those big and all those small. Woman and child, it doesn't matter as long as they have someone to take out their anger. It might not even be your fault, but because you are there, you get a part. We can end it hand in hand. As long as we stay united, we stand. Let us end this and end it all. You're in the situation, just give us a call. 501-227-4284. Gender-based violence, it can happen to all those big and all those small. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hashtag Orange Belize symbolizes a better future and a better Belize without violence against women and girls. Gender-based violence continues to be a global challenge in both public and private spaces, such as in the home, community, schools, and the workplace. Preventing and responding to violence against women and girls requires all of us to take action. Government, community, individuals, the private sector, and civil society. Personal relationships should be a source of comfort and support, a solid foundation for each person's empowerment and achievement in his or her daily life, especially in these times. We all have a role in making our homes, places of worship, communities, and workplaces safe spaces. We can offer our sisters, mothers, aunts, cousins, friends, and even strangers confidential conversations in order that those most affected can figure out how to best address their situation. Partnerships between the police department, healthcare institutions, the Women and Family Support Department, Human Services, and the judiciary continues and are important to ensure that women and girls have access to safety networks and equal opportunities. And we cannot forget men and boys. We should equally continue to engage and include them in the policies, programs, and activities in order that they understand that violence against women and girls
is reprehensible and that it is a human rights issue. Together, we can all be advocates and champions for a violence-free Belize. I hope that you all enjoy this afternoon's virtual launch of the 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. Today's launch of the 16 Days of Activism would not be possible without the support and participation of the Honorable Dolores Balderramos Garcia, Minister of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Frederick Exfield, the EU Deputy Head of Delegation, Birgit Gerstenberg, Resident Coordinator to Belize, UN Heads of Agencies. Pastor Ruth Pipersberg, we're sorry that we couldn't hook you up. I know you were ready to do your very inspirational and powerful prayer. Miss Anita Hamilton for your inspirational video. Our gracious Masters of Ceremony, the 16 Days of Activism Planning Committee, organizations and businesses that support and participate in the initiatives and activities to spread awareness about gender-based violence, and you, the public, for taking time out to watch this live stream. Thank you, have a pleasant evening, and let us remember to hashtag Orange Belize to end gender-based violence against women and girls. Thank you.